Welcome to GameBreakers. Welcome back. My name is Thomas, of course, and I'm right back here with Allison, Diamond, and David, and this is still A Bard's Tale, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game. We cut at the mid-episode cliffhanger with the revelation of what's incoming. The general of the Fomorian forces.
Here comes
what Thomas didn't identify was the sense of betrayal that is filling Allison, Diamond, and David, and a sense of betrayal.
Yes.
I always carry that with me. I'm just
in case.
Yeah. That's my other familiar.
It should be noted that the Fomorian general is astride a creature directly out of Struana Hardjaw's worst nightmares from back in her much lower level adventuring days, and seems to be incoming. But at just this moment, ClickClack still has some targets.
Ha. I'll fix that.
The wave has broken. Most of them are coming back. You have beat them back well before they could reestablish ranks.
Where would I have to move to get a clear shot of this dude right here?
Anywhere within 60 feet. Your default perception, your passive perception, is enough to know where they are.
Okay.
Right? You just feel it in the air.
Shifting Hunter's Mark to him.
All right.
Over the break, I forgot I was going to look up everything that favorite enemy gives me.
+4 to damage and advantage on lots of stuff, including persuasion, I think.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, shooting that one. Sharpshooter. 26 to hit.
Surgical.
That's what they call me.
Click surgical clack.
38 damage. And that's with rolling a 1 on one of them.
That one was fresh. But now the arrow deeply embed straight through his skin and well into what should probably be a kidney, even with such a twisted giant. Like you've dealt him a deep cutting wound.
But he's still alive?
Still alive.
Second attack. 24 to hit.
That, again, surgical.
Hang on. Oh, I should have done another d6 on the last one, so okay. I'll do that now.
Yeah, just throw it on this one.
Yeah. 37 damage.
Another shot. This one towards the upper body. You've slipped it in between two ribs, and it certainly went somewhere bad from there.
And I would just remind, at the beginning of the turn, I asked over the headset if we're fighting the thing that's coming. I asked that question. I shot twice. That's my turn.
Okay. Right. Bonus action. Hunter's Mark. No movement. Stan. Twisted, bent, malformed, and cursed. What do you do?
Horrified, Stan puts his hand over his heart and offers a prayer to Moradin to remove this curse. What evil is this in the Fae?
You hear the ring of two clear pure metals together inside your heart, and your form is restored. You do your lay on hands, remove curse, right? Or is that a spell?
It's a spell. It's a third level spell.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ah. And my steed, Lawrence, moves in difficult terrain. About that far.
Okay. You're coming around to flank.
Wait, because these are moving creatures, right?
Yeah, those are animated trees. The ones inside the green circle there are growing at the accelerated time rate and being tended to be animated as reinforcements to the line. There are also piles of trees interspersed with those bodies. A lot of dead wood.
Oh, and since it's not attacking this round, it could. I'm just going for more giants.
You dash.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna get like into striking range yet. I can't attack, so that's my turn.
Well, not your striking range.
Am I in their striking range? Am I like?
You are just barely outside. Where what you judge to be their swing. You hope. Anything else, Stan? Bonus actions and stuff? Okay.
Move along.
Trella Goodmane leaps off the ground and flies with her glaive pointed forward. It crackles with energy as she delivers a strike to the giant's midsection. Let's see. Wait, was this the one you had been targeting, or this one, ClickClack?
I was shooting the one that looks engaged with the tree creature.
With this one?
Yes.
Okay. All right. She hits the other one, who was still relatively fresh, and delivers a pretty significant blow. It's hard to make out the details in the fog, but the scream in giant says it all. So at this point, the treants begin waving limbs at each other and yelling back and forth in sort of like creaking wood shifting sounds. And the one nearest each of you differently in common. Well, actually, it would be this one in common. Calls out, "We've got a break! Pull back! We will meet at the grove to heal and prepare for the general." And they do, for the most part. And it's very orderly. They don't leave you behind. The ones that are engaged remain, and they're not leaving until that clot gets finished. They're backing toward that defensive area, and they'll all make it. It's a lot of token clicking for a second.
It's going to be very shady by the time we get in there.
It will be a tightly huddled mass. The trees that are staying and holding against the reinforcements are really continuing to press the advantage. Their morale has strengthened. This is the first time they've had a break. And they have seen so many of their tree siblings fall. I mean, they are all one grove. If you could see a spring in a tree step, Like this is the first rest that they've really had. Struana, what do you do?
Get back.
Okay.
I run away. Okay, sure, I can do that thing. Let's go back inside the bubble.
Okay. You do.
Yeah.
And immediately you start going into fast mode. We'll wait the few rounds and sort of get like time as people come in, figure out what you're doing from there. We'll call you out of initiative for now because all of a sudden, unless you're gonna pew 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 pew.
I might, but like my first thing is to like stop freaking out and to try and figure out what I can about what the treants know about fighting a bullet.
Okay. All right, back to the top then. ClickClack.
Did anyone answer my question?
What was it?
At the top of last round, I asked if we were fighting the general.
Yeah, I was screaming, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. That was my answer.
Right.
Great.
And the trees have called a huddle.
Yeah, the last instructions you got were from the trees.
So yeah, I heard that. They're leaving the giants that are already out there?
No, the ones that are engaged, the ones that are still fighting are still fighting. And others have closed up. They've left more numbers than the giants have, and you guys are still also pressing it. But the others are making it back to the cleric.
I'm gonna keep killing giants.
Okay.
Uh, 22 to hit the physically engaged one.
Yep. The number you need is 14.
Oh, good to know.
Yep. Yeah, you've been fighting these for a while. You've sussed out their level of difficulty.
45 point damage.
That one buckles. It between the onslaught of the trees and just like that's what the third surgical shot. That one goes right in the ear. Just and then the eyes cross and then go different directions, and then all of the eyes in weird places open up and sort of spin around, and it just sort of stands there dead on its feet.
The old Steve Martin.
It doesn't come out the other side, but a grievous brain injury.
Well, that's what's important. And then
right. The tree in front of him just like gives him a push, and
then this guy.
Okay.
That hits.
Yep.
Dunk is sneak attack.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, okay. 35 damage.
Again, like this one, like right under the jaw, into something vital, and after all of the damage it's taken from the trees and Trella Goodmane, crumbles.
And Lovelace, who has not been doing anything, moves me over to this group. Full movement for her turn, and that's it for us.
Okay. Stan, newly reforged.
So Lawrence will back up just a touch and then go in for a charge here.
Right, he just goes in a circle to get some momentum.
Mm-hmm. Hits.
Plenty. And is this hooves, horns? Gore attack?
So this is a charge attack,
Okay.
and it needs to succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone.
What is the DC?
14.
It's a lot like running directly into a wall. I mean, there was very little chance that was ever going to happen. And Lawrence knew that going into it.
Gives Stan a chance to strike. Oh, natural one! No!
It's a lot like running into a wall. You are unseated by the impact. You were up in your stirrups, and Lawrence maybe thought there was going to be a little more give, but you are now out of the stirrups and basically between Lawrence's antlers. Like, you hit the giant with more face than a hammer. And Lawrence has still got
Does
you.
my face do any damage?
It's a really good thing that you are thick-skulled, Stan.
Your face does no damage. I'm sorry. You do still have a second attack.
That was a fair question.
Have you seen this jawline? Have you seen it?
You do have a face a lot like a hammer.
Just chop broccoli with that chin.
Alright, if you're giving me another attack, I'll take it. But it doesn't, maybe it matters. 15?
No, it does. Like, remember, you needed a 2.
That's right, that's right. I was like, wait, no, I can make this. I can work with this.
Yeah, you started out with the one thing that wouldn't hit, and...
Oh, you know. 18 damage.
Okay.
Fire damage.
All right. And Lawrence will have to take an action next turn to either help you get back in the saddle or set you down safely, unless you just want to drop prone. You can do that. You're just perched precariously, like, on the antler, like, sorry, buddy. In an adamantine suit. Trella Goodbane does what she do. She is still flying, still full of crackling energy. She pulls another spell into her other hand and fires off a cantrip as she attacks. That one was fresh. She loves to get the first shot. Because then she gets a second shot. She does a lot of damage. ClickClack, you can really as a surgical damage dealer, you can really appreciate her ability to make something as small as she has matter.
There's a joke there, but I'm too classy.
Wow, all but one of the trees hit. So the trees that are left on the field all close in, and they are charging. They are emboldened. There's a whole line that crashes in. And the rest move through. The one in front of you, Stan, is just pummeled repeatedly, and it's in terrible shape. The others on the line are still kind of holding. They look like they wish they weren't. Oof. And in point of fact, they try not to be. Stan, you're going to get an attack of opportunity on the one in front of you, and so are all the trees. I am also, Stan, going to need another charisma save from you.
I mean, is that really necessary?
No, you could relent.
Oh, yeah. So you said I also get an attack of opportunity?
You do. You do.
I hit.
Could you make your save first for me? Because it's gonna matter.
Alright, well that one was me hitting. My save is this one, and it's 19. Plus
Well done. Well done. You suffer 16 damage, but you manage to, like, through sheer force of will and persistence, you you feel the bones want to twist, and you're like, nope, not today.
Literally force of personality.
Right. Still filled with the power of your lord. Craft.
God created this image. God created this image. I will not distort it.
So 16 damage still. Like, it hurts to resist, but psychic, if it matters.
For the glory of God. Alright.
And then you hit it back.
I do hit it back.
Right? There was an eye on the shin that you thumped awake, and it opened right up in front of you, and
18 damage.
And you noped it. Okay, and while it is not dead, you are a sentinel, and so your attacks of opportunity deny movement.
Yes.
Because I hate you. Lawrence also gets an attack of opportunity. You'll be at if it's horns, it'll be at disadvantage because where you are.
These hooves.
Okay.
That hits.
So you lean forward to whack it, and it just like overbalances his horns, and so he just pivots and turns it into a kick.
I gotta imagine I fall off. I mean, if he's attacking with the hooves, I mean.
No, you're still tangled. Actually, like one or the other of you is going to have to work to get you out of these antlers.
So that was 16 damage, by the way.
Oh. I will spare the image of the grievous wound and the knee injury, and without description, the giant falls into the fog.
We sharpen these hooves, yo.
The trees don't get many of them on the way out. Trella. And even Trella is caught off guard by their immediate retreat.
This is like a tsunami.
Diamond or Struana. Oh, that is round 2 of yours in. You have had one whole day now. You have been in there for 24 hours.
I should be able to see who anyone else is attacking at this point, or what they're doing.
You see the trees pulling in, just slow motion trees sprinting. You can see just like weary relief, if you can call it that, on their wooden faces. The patches of moss and vines and other things that tend to make up their features seem emboldened. By the time you wake up refreshed and have had lots of chats with that will cover with Snail Root, you do see it breaking away. We'll probably have a whole session or some time after this wraps up. We'll talk about what's happened over the course of those days. Time is weird.
It's worth stating that I am like keeping an eye on my friends, and
Okay.
I'm happy to zap anything that tries to attack them.
Okay. No, everything is quiet by this point. If you wanted to, we could have anyway. Long story short, nothing is within your field of vision at this point. All of the giants have retreated into the mist. The trees seem to be warily waiting and listening.
So for your prep, I will be having a series of conversations about the general and the boulette and how to fight and what they know and getting and like the active information gathering that you can do when you know the right questions to ask because you are basically an historian.
He has prepared a manual for you for the trees too, because they're not particularly clever, and so he has it drawn out of like a giant boulette jumping and killing and destroying trees and coming up out of the ground and destroying it. And the conclusion that he gets to for all the trees is that it must be held. It must be rooted. It must be made to stand as a tree stands and stop from digging and jumping. And that is how you keep it from its worst. Many trees will fall. It's inevitable. It must be death by 1,000 slivers. We must splinter it, and for that we must break.
The snail root about. Can you help people or trees or things float?
I must focus on enhancements and healing. Otherwise, we may not stay the course. Now that you are here, you may provide the attack, and thank you for that. Stan, ClickClack, are you guys engaging? Are you gonna keep hunting the ones remaining? It won't take much for ClickClack to hear giants amassing at the edge of the bowl, due south. They're clearly coming from other areas and gathering there, and you hear like clearly the sounds of a massive beast tromping, bigger than the giants.
If I talk into the headset, is Struana going to hear me at the same time?
She will hear you like whale song.
What if I talk really fast?
It'll be a really fast whale song.
So, Gnomish is faster than common. And I have some of the... I'm not fully versed in Gnomish, but Struana absolutely has some of the translation Gnomish. The Gnomish for people they view as simple. And he would know that. And
I would let a single Gnomish sentence go through, a short, clippy sentence go through in about 2 hours. Like you would have to tune in.
No, the Morse code. He's
a little bit. Like it takes you a minute to realize what has happened. That him speaking out there is translating in here as across the time distortion.
I give them the south.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not gonna do it in Walish, but yeah, you spend some time tuning in, and you can get the message out.
I head back to the time circle.
Okay.
I'm gonna confirm that to Snail Root.
I'm also going back to the circle.
Okay.
it's at this point the strategic thing is to regroup.
Yeah. So we'll just assume everybody's. I'm not gonna move all the tokens. So you enter the time loop after another whole 24 hours, by the way, of Struana staying there. It takes you guys to ride in. You see them coming in at full tilt, moving imperceptibly. You know, you hear. The trees are having long tactical conversations. They're practicing formations, bolstering their troops. They're like animating extra trees. Each of the tree ants now within this time space is able to do, and more trees. More being planted, more being tended. They're preparing to weather a charge. Everybody is now in.
Okay.
So once all of the trees and all of you are in, Snailroot calls everyone together. And the trees all just kind of like grab roots and branches. Mangrove trees tend to twist in and around each other. So they pack in really tight, but they leave plenty of space at the center for you to stand comfortably.
I have some healing spells
5
left over from today that I could help out with.
Save them for the heat of combat. Thank you. But here we have much time. And this whole time he's been sending healing spells out like candy. Take 2 of these and talk to me in the morning. You guys have 10 days. 1 whole minute. 10 days within this space. So you can actually like take some downtime actions if you want to. You can really get to know the trees. We'll run this in sort of dramatic time.
I am going to learn everything I can about defeating bullets in the general and what I can do to help, as well as trying to get a few more words in Gnomish.
Okay. For you, having seen your worth in the field, may I suggest striking from the air with your mighty spells. If it nears the heart, and he gestures to the item that is holding this temporal space, the blue crystalline beating heart. If it should approach here and breach this stronghold, well, then we are truly in trouble. Use it well to your advantage. It is our best tool. Have you the ability to give any of your friends flight?
Only for short periods of time and only in a limited fashion.
Well, it won't be long once the fight starts. And there's a lot of like and harumphs around the tree, like a little dour and dismal.
I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
The creature is less dangerous than what it carries. Balar's eye pierces fog and stone and flesh and soul.
What is Balar's eye? Wait.
That would be the eye, which is Balar's.
Balar was the name of the general?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. My brain did a whole... Anyway.
Right, and you've seen them do a whole lot of, like, piercing psychic eye shenanigans, so that's probably something, like...
Yeah. I'm now orientated, thank you.
We can hold, and soon, I suspect, the Vicomte shall take the field, now that Balar has made itself known. Balar.
Vicomte!
The Vicomte Inurion, the unseelie lord of this marsh.
Yes, thank you.
For a refresher, there's a couple episodes back.
I wrote down 2 names. Neither of them were any of those names. I got Snail Root.
Right. That is the one who must declare the war.
Yes.
And when Inurian, the wounded woodsman, returns, if we can hold, I think it may be a match. So you guys have days of chit-chat and questions, and have lots and lots of time. Snail Root is friendly and open, very busy, spends a lot of time. Still tending trees in such a way, by the way, ClickClack, that they have sticks and branches just so for your arrows.
The conversation topics that I'm going to guide to, if I can, are going to hopefully give me either, like, a knowledge advantage for this immediate battle, but also, like, general knowledge and history of Feywild, boosting that in some way.
Okay.
And I am not going to be pushing for us to leave immediately. I'm going to wait for my dear friends to do that.
Snailroot's orders to his troops are to wait until the general shows itself.
To Snailroot, like, are you not concerned that his land shark might not tunnel underneath this protective area?
The moment its beak would pierce the ground and show itself, we would immediately be able to respond.
Struana visibly relaxes somewhat.
From above, from below, we are nestled safely just to the left of the stream of time. As safe as we can be in the circumstances. Why do you keep secrets from your friends, Struana? He says one night, late at night, as you're drawing the trees and writing your notes and looking, cross-referencing stories in the Bard book.
Carefully neutral expression, whatever do you mean?
Come now. This may be the last time you have a chance to tell them. Whatever it is that burdens your heart, Don't take it with you.
I hate you, Thomas.
Wise old tree.
I just like one side saying, definitely keep doing the thing you're doing. You should stop doing the thing you're doing. Like, my real life, like, problems are not so black and white. It's so weird not to live in a land of gray.
Yeah.
They have to get out of here alive, too.
ClickClack. You definitely hear this. Your base perception is so high. Passive perception, and this is only a 60-foot circle, like 50-foot circle. You could only possibly be 50 feet from this conversation.
I don't show it at all.
Okay.
I'm still cleaning some mechanism.
I'm clearly not aware that he can hear me anyway. So, they have to get out of this alive too.
What if they don't? Maybe you make it, and one of them does not, and you never again get to tell them what you feel. They throw themselves very, very enthusiastically into danger. I don't know what it is you are holding in your heart, but I see it when you look at them, and they don't think, and you don't think that they see you.
We are companions of circumstance.
Oh. Is that all?
Like, I don't know if if the tree ants have booze, but being a dwarf, she just quietly just like. She found booze. It's a dwarf thing.
It's in your rations.
Detect booze is always active.
Emergency kits, just mini liquor bottles.
Perhaps then I misjudged, and you hold no true affection or comradeship. I could be wrong. I'm wise enough to admit that. It's important to be wise enough to admit things to yourself.
Mother trucker. They are alive because I love them. But they know that.
Are you alive because they love you?
Huh.
Here. Have a mangrove seed. And he goes to continue going amongst the masses. It's a good berry. Like it's
okay.
It is a mangrove seed. You still have to swallow it like a stone, but it's this little seed pod.
It's dry swallowing pills.
It's a good berry, but it's a psychedelic too.
It's a really good berry.
Yeah. Some might say the best berry.
There's been a lot of psychedelic trips in this game. The whole mushroom encounter. And who knows, maybe the best is yet to come.
So, Struana at that, like, is doing the I don't like being told what to do. So is just gonna, like, there's going to be a chunk of time about sitting there and just like, if I go talk to people, it's going to be a long enough time period that like,
I didn't do it because you told me to.
Yeah.
Okay.
You told what to do. But he's right.
Me.
Never had a conversation with you all about how much I appreciate you and actually genuinely care about you as friends. Shit. Like, there's a whole... Damn it, Thomas. There's like a whole internal dialogue about like, but like, I do these things, and I've done these things, and we had this engagement. Like, they've got to know, right? So now I have to have like gently approached conversations of the like, we're friends, right? Conversation. Do you know how much I care about you, right? Okay, good.
That's going to be interesting with the mechanically minded, borderline Asperger's inventor gnome.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I've done. I'll just sit back.
Well, I mean, it's a different conversation with each of them. Like, benefits of high charisma, mirroring.
Prepare to not know what you're talking about.
So the day passes along. I mean, you guys literally have downtime. Mid-combat, all of the trees are up and running. More troops are getting animated every day. Oh, actually, no, it's a static number. In point of fact, the trees are staying. Once they're animated, they're staying outside because an hour. It's yeah. There's some muckery. The trees have all done this before. They know how it works. Sometimes I haven't thought it all the way through.
For Stan, the conversation goes more like, you know, even though I like am doing some shady stuff, that I'm still on your side. And for ClickClack, it's like, are we even? Are the number of things we have done for each other even or mutually agreeable? A+? Okay.
You don't want to actually go through these. Yeah. Decide how I talk.
Let's see how that plays out. Which one do you want to do first? Who do you want first?
It's not me. Who wants to first?
It doesn't take a whole lot of insight as you turn around finally from thinking of it and are committed to do it to realize that ClickClack definitely heard you.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't reacted, but I'm 30 feet away, and you've seen my perception.
Yeah, you've never seen him not see something 30 feet away.
So then it's just like tromping up and sitting down directly in front of you and saying, "Do you want to talk about it?"
I'm. As she approaches, I have dismantled and reassembled the trailer hitch on the back of Lovelace, and I'm just getting it all working. About what?
What you just overheard.
Like 2 hours ago.
I have no questions.
Are we at... Do you understand that I genuinely value you and that your perception of me is important to me?
Yes.
To use a colloquial, are we good?
And he's genuinely struggling, like, how to translate logic into words you understand. I understand that we see the utility of each other, even if some of that utility is ephemeral.
I also think you're very important.
To what?
Yes.
That's not a sufficient answer.
True. To me, to the story, to the world, to your grove, to... I think that you add value to existence. And I'm glad to get to exist in the same place and time as you.
Thank you.
The chuckle's in character. In character.
Stan, can I get an insight check?
Is anything else? He's been working the entire time, by the way. I just haven't been pantomiming it, but yeah.
There's a like of course he has. Like at this point, yeah. I hope that we can just engage while you're doing the things, because otherwise we'd never be able to talk.
When I've looked at the camera is the times he's actually stopped to look at you, but then he goes right back.
Stan, you definitely see your party having a heart-to-heart. It's exactly as awkward as it looks.
I find the booze.
And
I want you to know...
From Stan's perspective, he probably sees Lovelace from the front, sitting like this.
It's very important to me that you know, or at least like have a concept for, understand that that I am not sure what happens next, and that I don't know what the next step in my path is until I get there. But that I am not going to do anything to hurt or harm you or those that you hold dear. And I don't know if you trust me, and I'm not going to ask you that question, because that's... And then, like, in explain voice, because that's an impolite question for me to ask you. But I want you to...
You kind of see him making a mental note.
Yeah.
Like, adding to the list of things that are impolite.
Impolite question to ask you in this context.
Right. Suddenly you can think of 24 different social situations you've been in over the last 15 years, and you're like, oh!
That was the missing variable. Okay.
In this context. Do you understand that? Do you have any questions about that?
Yeah, I understand that. I appreciate the sentiment.
Stan shows up. Sure do.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Were you still talking to ClickClack?
This was all me.
I was talking to ClickClack.
I got confused there.
Like, Stan could just walk up and be like, sure, do. It would totally be appropriate. It would be...
Stan definitely sees this going down. Like, you rolled a natural 20. You probably hear and see and like, ah. Like
I did roll a natural 20. I wouldn't interrupt it. That's
To answer those questions, he processes for a second and then goes, yes and then no. You asked him two questions.
I know, I promptly forgot the questions, like the order of questions I asked. What was the no for?
Do I understand that, and do I have any questions?
Okay, thanks. I thought there might have been 3, which is why I was... Okay. To use a colloquial, practicing colloquial, are we good?
He like sets down whatever weird ass tool he's using, and looks at you, and you can tell he's trying to have a genuine human moment, and he like I don't know if he can reach, but he like puts a hand on your shoulder, or like on your arm, wherever he can.
Dwarves and gnomes, we're not so far away.
And you're probably like kneeling or something.
I did say I sat down in front of you.
Okay, well, I would be sitting too. Anyway, hand on arm, shoulder, whatever. Look you in the eye and say, except for Lovelace, of all the people I've ever worked with, you and Stan have been around the longest. And he goes back.
I'm having feelings now. That's not fair. God damn it, David.
He gives you the like confirmation nod, and then goes back to work.
And Struana basically has a like.
And there's Stan, like right behind you, like.
Hey, Stan. I have some. What would you call?
Yes.
We need a name for dwarf bourbon. What do you call dwarf bourbon? Anybody? Name for dwarf bourbon.
Bourbon as in strong, or
bourbon as in that type of alcohol?
I don't know.
I don't know. Give me a minute.
Stonefist.
Oh, you mean like a brand name?
Yeah.
Oh, there's lots of brands. Oh, there's the Buckle Pin Reserve. That's
work. Stan.
Right, or just Temporal Brew. Like the brew out of the temple is often the Dwarven standard.
Happy with the hey Stan. I have some Buckle Pin Reserve. Would you like to have a drink?
Yeah. Drinking's great. Not enough of it around here. These trees don't know how to drink at all.
I'm pretty sure they're better at drinking water than you are.
They just pour it on the ground and step in it.
That's not how you do it. So, I guess I'm having a similar engagement with Stan. So awesome.
Over drinks, it's easier.
Over drinks, it's easier. It's like, okay, Stan. You are a good guy. And you must have noticed some of the stuff that seems to be going on with me. Like, gesturing at glowy eyeball. Wow, that...
Yeah, I don't really understand that.
I know.
It's alright.
Stan, the really, really short version is that I got a bunch of really fantastic magical power by making a deal with a... Quietly so that the trees can't hear us. I'm saying it loudly because I'm not sure what your volume's at, but I'm not Struana saying it about this level. I made a agreement with a archfey who does not seem to be always on the side of good. And I mean, as far as I know, this doesn't affect your experience with your god, and doesn't affect anything you do. But because it sort of puts us at these weird odds, I really want you to understand, and I want you to know that you're the side I'm on. Like that you and ClickClack, you're the side I'm on. This fight is the side that I'm on. And that like, we met in the weirdest way, dude. A bone? There was a bone. There was a bone, and it got stolen. And then it was like, well, I guess we'll go find the bone, because we happen to be here.
Clearly, it's where Moradin wants me to be. It's where I want to be.
And I want you to know that I really appreciate that.
I'll drink to that. Clink.
Yeah.
So time continues to pass. Trella spends most of the time in intense meditation and preparation. She's, preparing scrolls. She's very, very carefully thinking out, like, strikes. She's consulting a lot with Snailroot on tactics. If anybody else wants to be in on those, like, war table conversations, it's very simple. It's like you have to keep them from taking the tower. Like, you're in the easy place. Trella seems to be forever the pessimist. She is the one who is like, if I was going to destroy this plan, this is how I would do it. And the one that neither Snailroot nor any of the tree ants nor Trella has a good answer to is, what if they skip around us and Balar goes directly for the prize? What if they tunnel under, or go around, or send a force to keep us tied down? And what happens if they try to bypass us? And everybody gets really grim as sort of the, like, oh, then it doesn't really matter what we do. And they're sent away to think about it, unless you guys have anything.
I just like this. Because it tunnels, and it goes up. It's going to try and eat the heart, and I don't like it.
Speaking of the heart, you guys get plenty of time to study it. It is indeed a beating crystal heart. Like, it's fully and anatomically correct. On about day 9, you see something begin to form around its stand. Did you want to do something before that?
I was just going to ask if there was an opportunity for them to get rid of more of our necrotic damage that keeps us from having full hit points.
Yes, I looked it up specifically, and it's what it is gonna be is multiple castings of greater restoration are what can remove the effect. So it's a higher level spell. Turns out there's no miracle level. There's no miracle in in 5th edition. A lot of old D&D chucking around my brain. Yes. Yeah. Over the course of those 10 days, Snailroot will heal up, will fix your maximum hit point count.
I totally want to engage on the. Is there no way we can like create additional barriers around it?
Not from here. When the Vicomte appears, he will certainly alter the landscape to his advantage. But we do not have such a tie to the Feywild.
How far is it, the tower?
As the crow flies, about 250 feet, but it's a lot of switchback up and back from the. Well, no, it's as the crow flies. It's more like. Well, it's about 60 back and about 100 up. So whatever the hypotenuse, and I'm not going to do geometry.
Okay.
But 60 feet back, 100 feet up. And it's about 250 feet of windy switchback if you're following the trail. Without an answer, the meal comes and everybody sort of lets it go for the time being. Anything else anyone does in the next few days? So, on about day 9 of your little sojourn in this temporal anomaly, you see a figure begin to congeal around the heart, as though something is shimmering. It starts with like a few shimmerlings that have been flitting in and out, sort of taking form and then like getting zapped by something, and then that energy sort of filters in, and other little like motes of light from the grove just kind of pull in and join up with it. The shimmerlings, by the way, have infested the corpses around this place, and while it's macabre, at this point, the back and forth in slow motion of all these purples and greens and blues and darkish yellows, these usually maybe a little unattractive colors. I mean, it's just sort of an undulating, sparkling wave outside in slow motion. And they are delighted. Most of them are like doubled over laughing. Not like happy pixie laughter, like mean girl laughter. That's
those bitches.
Right. But over the course of one whole day, a figure coalesces around the heart. Snail Root probably catches you staring at some point or another.
There's like, is there, well, like the straight up, like, do you see that? Is there something we can do?
This is the arrival of Vicomte Nurian, the Lord, the wounded woodsman, the archfey who rules the Gloomhollow. He will arrive in due time.
Is that good or bad or?
If he declares this as war.
Oh, that thing. Okay. Yeah, that was a while
ago. If he declares war, we still need to leave. Does this mean it's going to happen now?
Balar has taken the field and threatens the stronghold. We do not have the forces to hold. Without allies, we will lose this dominion. War will be declared. It must. The wounded warrior is not one for surrender. Over the day, as it coalesces, you can see maybe the name they call him, the Wounded Woodsman or the Wounded Warrior, the beating heart, even as a form coalesces around it, is not enshrouded. There is clearly a hole, a massive wound in the chest of this archfey where the heart sits. And beating, and now seems to, like, as it's beating, it now seems to, like, move energy, you know, these motes and bits of light and particles of the Feywild. It's kind of like seeing a teleport in really slow motion.
So, talking with ClickClack and Stan, if war is declared, this landscape potentially changes. We may or may not get out of here. If you decide we're going to stay and fight, I'm going to stay with you. If you decide we're going to go, I'm going to go with you. Going is, strictly speaking, at least a known result. Staying is an unknown result. What do you want to do?
I'm looking at Stan.
It doesn't seem to me that we can turn the tide of this battle unless we go kill the thing right now. You know?
Struana has, like, the feeling of tightening right here.
So if we're not going to go kill it right now, we should go. We should leave.
And then looking back at ClickClack.
Do I have even the vaguest concept of the power level we're talking about here? Like, if we're using the Zeus metaphor, do I have, like, I have a base idea of how hard Superman can punch.
Yeah. If we're talking Greek myths, okay. So honestly, I in classic Feywild tradition, I plucked it right out of a Celtic myth. That's one of the giants in Ireland. One of the Fomorians, as it turns out. It is, think Puck, if we're talking about a fairy court, as far as, like, where he would sit in the hierarchy and the level of power he wields in that hierarchy. Okay. As far as, like, raw combat, I mean, Fell's armies, man. He's maybe not armies of treants and animated trees, but if faced with mortals, like, it's usually a blowout. Fights dirty with a two-handed whip.
Huh. That seems awkward.
It's more like a flail. Like, it's got a large weight at one end. Like, it's a single. But it's also, like, Trella will tell you stories she's heard. Like, he wields it as though it were a tentacle of madness. He has plates of metal bolted across his vulnerable spots.
Struana turns to me. I just look at her and say, "Do you think we can defeat him?"
Is that a history check?
You got a natural 20 on that. You guys have gotten many. It would be... He and Borinor could go toe-to-toe, and it'd be dicey.
Do you remember what it was like fighting Borinor with friends?
And that's without the bullet.
Yeah.
Just Balar is in the ballpark of Bornor, like as far as their ferocity in combat.
Do you remember what it was like fighting Bornor while we had friends?
Yes. I remember everything. That wasn't even attitude. He's just reminding you.
I know. I know.
Perhaps you forgot about my memory.
Well,
Humble brag.
have trees, but he has a 40-foot land shark.
And an army of Fomorians. Well, Snailroot will help fully picture. And an army of Fomorians.
When you say land shark, he looks at you confused. You mean bullet?
Yes, I mean a bullet.
Why? Never mind.
And so if this war is declared, then they're gonna the Treants will get reinforcements from some other army.
Allies of the Vicomte will be bound by their oaths. His vassals and other lords may join the fray. Bordering lands with treaties to reinforce. Well, we shall see. And I hear that there is a sprite who has let the Unseelie across the river know that there is giant trouble here. I would not rely on them for help.
ClickClack, as what's his name? Snailroot?
Snailroot.
Snailroot. As he's talking, ClickClack is goggles up, studying him. After he says that, you're a guardian and facilitator of life.
I am.
If we stay, are we going to die?
Do you know what could give you truly the answers you seek?
A riddle.
That cauldron that you brought and have left here when you went out in combat, because I figured you didn't take all the heavy stuff. Clang, 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 clang.
The bag was going to be on the things that I touched. We just haven't gotten there.
And also, so that's cauldron. I recognize it. This used to belong to Auntie Matilda Gristlegums, a very powerful hag inhabited, potentially still inhabits this swamp. She's as dear a friend as a night hag could be, and I recognize her cauldron. I also wanted to ask you about the pain that I can feel emanating from, and he points at whoever is holding the bag that you guys found. It's you.
I'm assuming that's me because I totally just stated that I wanted to try to figure out what the heck's going on with it.
Every time you mess with it, every time there's an opening in the bag, you can hear sort of a sniveling and crying and moaning and very, 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 very quiet, just barely whispering out.
Well, that's just wrong.
Oh, Matilda.
Who's Matilda?
Auntie Matilda Gristlegums is not very good. This wretched thing is a soul snatched from some poor creature whose nightmares she rode until it died. An awful way to be parted from the body.
Is there any way to... I don't want this.
Only Auntie Matilda could free such a soul. A night hag's soul bag is tied intrinsically. But if you have it, then Auntie must be gone. As to the soul, well, by the laws of this land, it belongs to you now. You can trade such things, you know.
I don't want to do that.
Come on.
ClickClack, can I just give me a flat wisdom roll.
Wisdom. Okay. $12.
You empathize for a moment so deeply with whatever this creature is that for a second you're almost inside the bag, like you are looking from the inside out, and it's not like a transposition, it's almost like a really old memory.
And it goes away after that?
I mean, the impression, it's not a compulsion or anything. It's just
it's a wave and it passes, or am I in this now?
No. It's a wave. I mean, you now possess the memory like that. Like literally, it's like something from your very, very early childhood bubbled up, but it's not your childhood. It's something
right. Like a sense memory kind of thing. Like I smelled cut grass and remembered kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
Struana is just kind of really sad about the bag, and unless ClickClack does something, I'm just gonna be done with having moral conundrums and shove it away.
You just see ClickClack kind of like out of nowhere and blink and go, I don't care for that at all.
Maybe the priests at the temple could help with that. They usually deal with souls in bodies, but you know.
Yeah,
every soul's worth saving, as I understand it.
This is enough moral conundrums for right now, and I'm just going to shove it into a somewhere for right now. It's going to exist in a somewhere. Get dealt with in its proper time, which is not right now.
Snailroot notices, though, the moment that ClickClack had. What did you see?
I saw being in the bag. Is that what the memory was?
Yeah, being in something like that, like being discorporated and being stuck inside something.
I know what it felt like.
Not you feel like you know what it felt like.
I remember it now.
Struana, would you hand the bag to ClickClack? I wonder.
I one hand on the crab, and reach out and take the bag.
Okay. Whereas Struana, every time you tried to get to it, you had to like really pry and like work on the knot, like it was all tied and molded together. When you grab it, it kind of just like drops a little slack, like it's not fighting you.
Regretfully, take the other hand. I'm mounted, but I was still like making physical contact. Regretfully, take the other hand and pull the bag open.
You now can hear the same voice. There's nothing inside it, like it's just an empty bag, but you can hear the voice in it.
Do I recognize the voice?
You know.
Okay.
Reach in. You'll be safe. Don't worry.
He's giving the tree a look like he's looking for the sarcasm.
I have a theory.
I love theories. Reach in.
Once your hand gets fully in the bag, you can feel a marble-sized bead in your palm, just right there. You open it up, and it's got a little glow to it, and you can see it sort of whirl a little with some gray and black flecks, and it's sort of just like a misty cloud. Of sometimes there's little colors that pop in and out.
I pulled it up. Snail root.
I see. I don't know if you know what you've just done, ClickClack.
I do not.
No, I didn't think so. You've just freed a soul. That is a soul bead.
He is so actively not popping it right now.
Should you wish, you could destroy it and send the soul to its final reward. Or you could keep it. It is very valuable to those who trade in souls. I would not recommend following that path with your gift.
What gift?
No one here could reach into that bag and pull out a soul as you have. Even my most powerful magics, I would have to send for someone who could wish to be able to act as the hag. And you were able to coalesce it all on your own, without even knowing how. I know something now about you, ClickClack. A long, long time ago, you were held in such a bead, and since then have reincarnated through. It's uncommon, but not unheard of. There is no final rest for you. Only another life spent defending life. No resurrection or return.
How do I release this?
Will it so?
He just starts staring at it.
Make a charisma check.
Oh, I'm great at those. Why'd I even look it up? I knew what it was.
Struana is partially like, but we're going to a fairy market next. Keep it. And then doesn't say anything because it's like, nope.
12.
ClickClack's trial. This is not my trial. This is ClickClack's trial. This is not my resource. This is his resource.
It takes about 30 seconds, but you do manage to like just Superman eyeball it, and eventually you feel the inside of it, and for just a second you grok everything that person once knew, and then you instantly forget it, and the bead just flies away into dust. Well done, ClickClack.
Was that taxing at all for me?
No.
I reach in and see if I can do it again.
There's nothing left in the bag.
I didn't think so, but I was checking.
Right.
And on that note, that is the perfect cliffhanger as a soul flees away and fades out of the Feywild and enters into its just reward. I haven't bothered to determine its alignment or what outer plane it's going to, because it really doesn't matter. We will cut. That's our game for today. This is A Bard's Tale. I'm Thomas. This is Allison, David, and Diamond, and we are playing A Bard's Tale. Thanks for watching. Thank you guys for playing. This was a really fun session, guys. Diamond had feels. Everybody got to tighten their sphincter a little when they made some knowledge checks about anatomy. This is a good session. Thanks, guys.
You have feelings.
This is GameBreakers. This is how we do it. My name's Thomas. This is Allison, David, and Diamond. If you like what you see, hit like. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. And if you want to see it get better, our Patreon is down below. That's how we get resources to put some polish on this thing. But meanwhile, thanks for watching. Have a good game.